So what I'm saying is actually trying to help you, and I want you to help yourself, but it all begins with your decision. You have a misdemeanor pleable, you're not out on anything. This is a trespass other than structure or conveyance, and then a resisting an officer without violence. I do see where you do have an open case, indecent exposure, indecent condition, or whatever that is. I'm not sure what that is.
And Your Honor, in that case, he has been deemed incompetent to proceed by a court, and he doesn't meet the requirements of commitment. And based on the fact that he's been deemed incompetent by the court, I ask that you give him an ROR on the new case, with the same conditions that he complies with any plan set in place by his doctor, and he takes all prescribed medications and keeps in contact with his attorney.
How does that solve? I could do what you're suggesting, and what you're suggesting is certainly reasonable. However, how do we know he's not going to be back next week and 2 weeks from now? And are we just setting him up to fail? So and can you help me understand who's going to make him, and what procedures can we do to help him help himself? I agree with your intent, and I have the same intent, but once he walks out the door, you don't know, I don't know, and then he's out there getting in trouble again, and so we haven't solved anything.
And Your Honor, we deal with the mental health cases every day. We have social services who, again, have services that can help. Again, he's whatever his doctor has prescribed for his medications.
But how do we know?
And
But I understand everything you're saying, and I'm familiar with it. But how do, I just don't see how it's going to work.
I mean, Your Honor, again, it's hard to qualify any of our clients for mental health pretrial release. You could screen them for mental health pretrial release, but that is the only other option at this point. There's really not many options available other than the services that we have with social services and his current doctor.
But if he doesn't, first off, is there someone making an appointment?
His attorney keeps in contact with him, as well as social services. And we also have doctors that go out to continue to evaluate him. So he'll have appointments where he has to meet with our doctors as well, Your Honor. But other than that, if he doesn't qualify for mental health pretrial release, I don't know who else could monitor him.
And I just hate to set people up to continually, because they're ill, they make really bad decisions, and then they keep getting arrested. So it's really, it's a real, I would design a different system, but that once you determine someone has the issues he has, that he would stay in some kind of facility to work on his, to get him medicated and get him stable, rather than, because I just see another judge a couple weeks from now holding the same piece of paper. You know what I mean?
And Your Honor, again, he's been evaluated. The problem is, if the doctor decides he does not meet the requirements of commitment, they can't hold him, and he doesn't meet the requirements of commitment right now. And once he gets to that point, then they will make him stay in a facility, but as of right now, he does not meet those requirements.
State, I haven't heard from you, and I know you have good input and a good experience about all of this problem. Do you have a comment or a suggestion?
Your Honor, I would suggest that defendant be screened for the mental health pretrial release, and if he doesn't qualify, then set a very low monetary bond.
All right, we'll go ahead and try the mental health pretrial release. And that as far as count one goes, we'll go ahead and do $100, and count two, $100. Okay, and then the, we'll go ahead and you are not to consume any illegal drugs, that you are to be drug tested beginning 30 days from the time you are released, be drug tested monthly by pretrial release. And if you are taking drugs other than prescribed drugs, then you will be arrested and lose your bond and back in jail. And we'll talk about this again. Additionally, you are not to return to the scene of this incident. Do not contact the alleged victim, witnesses. Do not commit any further crimes. Do not possess a weapon or firearm or ammunition. Do not leave the state without permission from the court. And you are to attend all court hearings. But mostly, I want you, listen to me, look into my eyes. I want you to understand that we have probably the best public defender system in the whole state. These are good people with a good program, and you need to take advantage of it. If you want to just go to prison every couple of years, go to prison for 3 years or 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, if you just want to be in and out of prison, that's your decision. But if you really want to help yourself, make a pest of yourself with the public defender. Call the public defender and say, I don't want to be sick anymore. I want to be well, and I want to be free. And I don't want to be in and out of the Orange County Jail. And I want help. That's the first step of getting good, is I want help. We've got the facilities, and then you got to decide. Or you can just decide to be a criminal and just committing crimes, and eventually I or some other judge will be sending you to prison. And looking at your record, I may just send you to prison forever, for as long as I can, just because you're not able to stay crime-free. So from a judge standpoint, I would max you out every time, let you stay in prison as long as possible, because maybe that's the best place for you, since we don't have alternatives in Florida or most states. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is actually trying to help you, and I want you to help yourself, but it all begins with your decision to either be continuing to be in and out of jail or to try to make yourself well. All right, we'll see what happens. Thank you very much. Next.